It feels good. Yeah, I still like it.
Well, that's good, because Karen's already working on another collection, and this one, of course, is not the one that we're seeing in shops now. But I've got a question. You're in New York. This fabulous show's all over and done within, 15 minutes?
9.5, I think.
All that work. What do you do afterwards?
We always have friends and family drinks at the Soho Grand, which is a hotel I rather like in New York, and it's just very intimate, maybe just 100, 150 people, those who worked on the show, my friends there, my family there, and just very, very small. We just have a few nice cocktails, and I like to have it wrapped up by 10 p.m.
And then there's not so glamorous bit about packing up, I guess.
Yeah, well, luckily I have a great team who help with the packing up, but you're right, there's a lot that is not so glamorous, but it's all fun.
And before the show, I think we're all fascinated how it all comes together, the ideas.
Yeah, I mean, you always have such interesting ideas behind your collections. You know, you've referenced the film Annie Hall, jockeys, wartime land girls, and this collection is called Sea Monsters. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, I've always really loved Victoriana, and also the sort of 50s and 60s interpretation of Victoriana that you've seen in a lot of popular culture and movies and books and so on. And this was a winter collection, obviously, and so it felt like a good time to use that sort of feel as a starting point, because you get that sort of lush Victorian sitting room kind of vibe. So the collection was inspired by Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea and Captain Nemo's Nautilus, but then mixing that in to get that sort of slightly 60s interpretation of Victoriana, mixing it in with a bit of a Brian Jones / psychedelic kind of references as well. And so hopefully you get to see this sort of Victorian sitting room, the golds, the silks, the paisleys, but mixed in with a sort of 60s and even a little 50s sort of silhouette in terms of, you know, the tailoring and the hair and the shoes and other elements.
Because the shoes are a collaboration with Bo Coops again, aren't they?
Yes.
Fantastic shoes.
Yeah, this is, I think, our 5th season in collaboration with
Yeah.
Bo Coops for the shoes, and it continues to be fantastic.
So you're based in Auckland,
Yes.
but you obviously have got a team, as you mentioned earlier, that kind of produce the show with you.
Mm-hmm.
In the lead up to show day, what happens? How does it all come together?
We start producing the show probably about 2 months before the show, in terms of locking off on the time, the day, the venue, where the pre-production will be, where the post-production will be, that sort of thing. The locking off on the team, like the producers and the casting director and the front of house photographers and the backstage photographers and the videographers and all those sort of masses of different people. I mean, on the day, the call sheet's got like 50 people on it, you know. And also our hair team and our makeup team, etc. So that all gets locked off quite a long time in advance, just because everybody's so in demand. So we like to make sure that we don't miss out, that they don't get booked onto another show before we book them. Because, you know, there's New York Fashion Week, I think, 7 days long, and there's something like 900 events in that time. So whatever time slot you have, there's always 2 or 3 other things in exactly the same time slot. So you have to, you know, make sure your team's locked down really early. We lock off on those all, really, really far in advance. But then in terms of a lot of the work, it doesn't really happen until the week before the show. Like, we don't start casting until 4 days before the show.
So how long typically would you be in New York before the show?
5 days prior to the show, then show day, then a clean-up day, and then I usually have 2 or 3 days of meetings after that before leaving New York.
One thing that's become a really big trend is beauty looks are now, you know, they're set on the international runways. And so I guess that's another thing you have to think about. How much is beauty part of the overall collection and the look you're going for?
Yeah, the beauty we really lock off quite early on in the pre-production stage. So on about day 2 or 3 leading up to the show, we have our hair and makeup trial, hair, makeup and nail trial. So we get our hair director, our makeup director and our nail team, and by then we've already got probably 10 of the 15 girls locked off in terms of models, so we know who a lot of the models are going to be. We've got all our looks locked off so they can see what's going to be on the runway in terms of the clothes, and so they know exactly what the styling is going to be like. And we know, myself and my stylist, Heather Mary Jackson, we have a sort of feel of, you know, what we're kind of thinking for the hair and makeup. So it might be like, like for this season, we felt that we liked that idea of the hair quite slick and wet almost, on the sides, but quite 50s and quiffy on the top. But we didn't know really what else was going to happen with it. And for the makeup, we felt like we needed an antidote to what we'd done last season, which was a bright scarlet lip. So we felt like we needed to do something a bit different to that and a bit less summery than that. And for the nail, with nails, we actually 9 times out of 10 will go for tan or navy. So it was kind of like, it's always one of those. And then we get our leaders and our teams in, and we show them what's on the runway, who the models are, and what our sort of first thoughts are. And then they sort of give us some feedback, and then they'll take the hair and makeup model, rehearsal model off, do the number on her, and then come out and present it to us. And usually, because our team just kind of know what we're thinking always, it's spot on.
Just sticking with makeup for a minute, there's a very exciting collaboration coming up. Karen is going to have something that was developed especially for her show back in September, because fashion has very long lead times. It's going to be part of Clinique's global range, and Clinique's global makeup artist told me she loves working with Karen because she's very decisive about what she wants. I just wonder if you could tell people what this product that we're all going to be able to buy that was inspired from Karen Walker's show is.
Yeah, well, this was for, as you said, the show last September, which was the spring-summer collection, and we really wanted a very vibrant lip. There was a lot of scarlet in the show, and we felt we really wanted something that was quite an orangey red and almost sort of 100% pigment in terms of the saturation of colour. And so when Jenna came in to do the hair and makeup trial, we sort of explained what we had in mind, and there was actually nothing in Clinique's range that was the colour, and she couldn't mix it from other colours. So she said, leave it with me, went over to the lab, and 24 hours the lab had mixed up this colour exactly that we had in mind. She came back and showed it to us, and it was perfect, and they loved it, so they're actually putting it into market.
So that's a hot tip. That's hot lips for next summer. And I know that there's something else that we're seeing in New York, and that's the sunglasses.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk to you about that because, they're doing so well at the moment. They just appeared in US Vogue in a shoot that was photographed by Mario Testino, which is amazing. And, I mean, they're always being worn by celebrities, whether on the red carpet or just in real life. Can you kind of tell us your favourite, the most exciting person, that high-profile person that's worn them?
Well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
It's like every other week we seem to get an email from somewhere with a picture of somebody fabulous wearing the eyewear, and so that's really exciting always. Rihanna wears, she's got more pairs than me. MIA, Beth Ditto, Katy Perry. There's dozens and dozens of them, but actually the one I was really excited about this week was Ariane Phillips, who's a really very famous stylist, and she just did the costuming for Madonna's film W.E., and she was nominated for an Oscar, and she took a photo of herself wearing our sunglasses in the limo on the way to the Oscars and put it up on her website. So we got to see that before she even arrived at the Oscars, and then she was all over the red carpet and New York Times Best Dressed list for that night. And so that was kind of exciting. That was great.
And celebrity tie-in is obviously a very important thing, and so are brand extensions. And I guess Karen is one of those designers who's really done a lot with that. Sunglasses, jewellery, Karen Walker paints. Yeah. How important is that to a successful business?
Well, it just allows you to express yourself in lots of different formats. We've got in addition to those, we've also got the bag collaborations and the shoe collaborations, and it goes on, a few things in the pipeline as well. So, that's important to the business, but mostly it's important to showing the whole story. I can't imagine putting a runway show on without shoes, bags, sunglasses. You're going to send them down the runway barefoot. So it's really important to have that full story, so that it's I call it 360 degrees.
It's 360 degrees, but to get the Karen Walker look, do you have to buy the whole lot?
No, but I don't think it's about getting the full look. I don't wear the full look a lot of the time. I like mixing it up with other stuff, and I think that's how people dress. And also, I think what really excites me about fashion now is that the combination of high-low. So,
What do you mean by that?
Like in our store in Newmarket, you've got Topshop in there, who we work with closely in this country, obviously. But then you've got Karen Walker, you've got Philip Lim, you've got $15,000 gold cuff of ours, or a not even $12.50 Topshop lip balm. So there's that combination of bringing the high and low together in the shopping experience, but also in how you dress. And I think that's how most people dress. It's not about being head to toe in the designer label. It's about a bit of vintage, a bit of chain store, a bit of designer, a bit of some classic designer piece from your wardrobe from 10 years ago or whatever. So it's about that combination. I think that's what's exciting about dressing now.
So you mentioned you've got a few projects in the pipeline. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happening later this year?
Yes, well, there's a few things in negotiation which I can't talk about yet, but I think the thing that's exciting for later this year is in August our homeware line comes out, and that's in partnership with Maya in Australia. So it's going to be initially bed sheets, towels, cups and cushions, but moving into other things for February 2013. And so that's going to be throughout all their stores, and it's looking pretty cute. We did a lot of work on the towels just in the height of our summer, whatever there was of it, and I'm pretty excited about them for next summer, both beach towels. So yeah, that's coming up pretty soon.
That's a pretty big portfolio. Getting back to the winter collection, perhaps you can tell us a little bit about it. The one that's
this one. Sorry, there's so many, well, I think I really always like extremes in what I do, and contrasts. And I think that what we really did with this collection was we had it very much about pattern, and you can see the three of us all in print dresses of various prints. So there's a lot of that in the collection, but we've antidoted that with a lot of very simple, dark, black or navy tailoring, and just simple, elegant black and navy dresses. And so I like that sort of contrast, and you can have that very elegant, grown-up black or navy, simple look, or you can have the intense print and the intense colour. So that's really, I think, what this is all about.
So what are some of your favourite pieces from the collection?
Well, I'm kind of going down that path where I've now got a wardrobe that's got like 10 different great print dresses, and so I'm just totally covered with print dresses, but then antidoting it with a lot more tailoring than I've been wearing the last couple of seasons. So I'm excited about that.
It's something we've all obviously are loving about Karen's latest collection. So unfortunately, we haven't got any more time with Karen. I think we should have our next Viva seminar will just be all Karen, because obviously we're only just getting started. We're about to move into the food section. So one question, Karen, is what's your favourite foodie place around Auckland at the moment?
Well, I know there's a lot of new ones I haven't tried, but that's because I'm lucky enough to live in Ponsonby and have my three favourite places within about 2 minutes walk of my house. So for me, 9 times out of 10, it's SPQR, Sunday Painters or Golden Dawn.
Lovely. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. It's been truly wonderful having you here tonight.
Thank you.